Hey there once again, everyone. It's Eric here with Weather for Weather Geeks, the Wednesday evening edition. We're going to talk about a changeable forecast for the end of the week and coming into the upcoming weekend as well. But first, a little review of the last 30 days, rainfall versus average. Of course, no surprise, it's been pretty dry since late June and early July. We have had some bouts of rain a little more frequently late in July, early into August. But still, we're running some pretty big deficits across the region, especially south of 224, and especially once you get down towards Route 30, from Canton over to Minerva, Hanoverton, Columbiana, the Lisbon area, Guilford Lake area. That's our overall our driest zone, although eastern Mercer County has also been quite dry. The wettest areas over the last month have been north of I-80 in Trumbull County. But yeah, we could use some rain. We got a little bit out there this afternoon. We had a scattering of showers. Didn't really have any rumbles of thunder during the second half of the day today, but we did have some scattered showers, and these left some modest amounts. And in some places that do need the rain, down in Columbiana County, Doppler radar estimates here of a couple of tenths. Maybe a little bit more than that in a few spots. We'll take it. This is generally in the western part of Columbiana County, where some of these heavier totals were. To the north, everything was real sporadic and generally left very modest amounts. We had a quick downpour over in the west Middlesex area earlier on today that might have dropped locally up to a half an inch worth of rain. We don't have a lot of rain gauges over in that neck of the woods, so not much ground truth to that, but some Doppler radar estimates of maybe a half an inch or so. When I recorded this, it was quiet. 7:03 this evening, Storm Tracker 21, nice and quiet, and this downtick in activity continues to the north and even to the west as well. These showers have been kind of fizzling as they moved towards I-71 over the last couple of hours. Now, it's still very muggy out there. It wasn't that warm today. We hit the lower 80s this afternoon, pretty seasonable actually. But dew points have been elevated, but you'll notice some subtly lower dew points not far to our north and west. This somewhat drier air mass is going to make inroads here as we get into the second half of the day tomorrow. Still pretty muggy as your Thursday gets underway, with dew points middle, perhaps upper 60s. But watch what happens as we get into the afternoon, especially once the sun gets going and mixes up the atmosphere a little bit. Some drier air will get mixed down from up above a little bit, and that will allow dew points to drop at least into the lower 60s, and in some spots, maybe even we drop into the 50s. This should make for a really nice afternoon tomorrow, a pretty nice evening as well. May cloud up towards sunset tomorrow evening, but 5, 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, very nice summer weather coming our way. This front is kind of a non-entity, really. It's technically, we need to draw it on the map, but there's really no air mass change behind the current front. The dew point drop will be a little more noticeable as the secondary front comes in. Now, tomorrow probably starts with some clouds, but I do think we see a decent amount of sunshine in the afternoon, and that secondary front is what will usher in those somewhat lower dew points. Now, some good news for the weekend forecast, and really starting on Friday. This front is going to stall, it looks like, a little bit farther to the south than it looked like in previous runs of the modeling. It looks like the front would be more like this. This will probably lead to drier weather than we first expected for Friday and probably Saturday as well. So I've backed off our chances of rain to 30% Friday, 20% Saturday. So it's looking better. It should be pretty comfortable by August standards. Moderate humidity, temperatures lower 80s overall. Pretty nice August couple of days, Friday and Saturday. So we've reduced the rain chances for those 2 days, but we have rain chances elevated again by early next week because it still looks like this upper low is going to cut off, and it may take an extra day now. It may, it's a delayed but not denied situation where it looked like this cutoff low would form maybe early in the weekend. Now it's going to be real late in the weekend and into early next week. Once it does, it will lead to a pretty unsettled pattern. I think here's our upper low first thing Monday morning. This is going to pump in some moisture from the south. And, with this pocket of cool air aloft, showers, maybe some storms are going to kind of bubble up, probably most likely in the afternoon hours. That'll be Monday. Tuesday is probably a fairly similar day. Then this thing will get the boot as we go into midweek. Might even get a somewhat drier air mass returning during the second half of next week. I don't see a lot of hot August weather coming. I've been showing you the longer range outlooks showing good chances of above average temperatures, but that doesn't mean really way above average temperatures. We're talking about subtly above average temperatures as a possibility, and I'll show you those longer range details in a second. In the meantime, this is Hector. Our satellite wants to cut out a little bit here, but I showed you this last night in case you missed it. A hurricane passing south of the Big Island of Hawaii, It's rare but not unheard of for a hurricane to make landfall in Hawaii proper, but sometimes it's a close shave, and this is just moving south of the Big Island, causing some rough surf issues for Honolulu and heading down towards Kona and then the southern coast of Hawaii, and this will continue way out there over the open Pacific over the next several days. All right, back here at home, I mentioned the longer range. You see a lot of red on this map. And decent odds of above average temperatures in the 8 to 14 day period, but I don't think this is the kind of pattern that's going to produce a lot of 90s. It probably produces a lot of highs in the lower, perhaps middle 80s as we go into the medium range. Precipitation-wise, been talking about this as well, that we're in no danger of slipping into a drought here. Yeah, it's a little dry, but we're going to see enough rain, I think, as we go into mid-August with a decent chance of above average precipitation that I don't think we have any been a lot drier than this at this time of the year. A lot of times things dry out in a hurry during the second half of summer. We saw that last year. But this year, I think we'll do okay. That's it for tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for tuning in. I'll have an update on everything you need to know in the next 7 days coming up tonight on 21 News at 11. Don't forget you can get that forecast anytime by downloading and checking out the Storm Tracker 21 app.